welcome back to Chef Matiko's YouTube channel. If you are new here, thank you so much for stopping by. For returning subscribers, thank you so much for always coming back again and again to support Chef Matiko. We do not take you for granted, and may God bless you. I don't know if you guys can see me. Can you see me? That is an aerial view with my pussycat hairstyle. How are you doing? Where are you watching us from? Kindly let us know down in comment section. Over here, actually I'm coming live from Nyabohanse village. I've just told you, and it is sunny. Oh, that's sunny because okay, the rays are very hot and I think it's gonna rain anytime soon. Mambo, unaenda shule? Maraba, mmekula? Okay. Those are kids going to school, and they are from lunch. You know, here in our system of education, there are different types of schools. There are those schools that students do go home for lunch, and those who eat. So if you can afford to pay for your kid to eat at school, you just do that. But if you can't, they allow kids to break for lunch from 12:40 p.m. that is 12:40 noon up to 2 p.m. That is always lunch break, and that is how I grew up. You know, we break for lunch from school, we come at home, you come, and in our days we would walk as you collect firewood. You see, in a forest like this, I'm on my way to Chef Matiko's home. In a forest like this, you have to walk and collect firewood when you're from school, so that when you get home, it is easy for you to go and now cook. Some of us didn't grow up like having, you know, your parent maybe always there to prepare meals for you. They were busy, you know, parents are busy looking for that food that you want. So sometimes maybe you left early in the morning going to school, and then the parent left to go, you know, we call them in Swahili kibarua. That is just local jobs, blue collar jobs, be it anything, you know, going to other people's farm to dig so that they get money to come and purchase food or even pay school fees, you know. That is how. So our parents would wake up early. As soon as we left houses, also them left houses. I'm putting it in past tense because that was me a few years ago when I was in primary or lower grade. So just wake up, do your thing. Firstly, you'd wake up in the morning and do dishes, clean the house. And if you had cows, oh my, it will be another job. You have to go and remove the cow dung and make sure that house that the cows live inside, it is very clean. So with me, we didn't have cows, we didn't have goats, only chicken. So you just release the chicken to go outside, and then you clean the house. You know, it is mud on the floor. You just you sprinkle water, and then you just sweep. You clean the house, you clean the dishes, you make sure you make some tea with maybe some sweet potatoes. That is how we grew up. So you go to school. Once you leave, your parent also leaves. Sometimes our parents would leave earlier than us to go and look for a living. That is to go to other people's farm and prepare lands, plant maize, so that they get something to go and pay for us school fees. That is how we grew up. So you'd come back to lunch. As I was telling you, there's no one to prepare for you meals, so you have to collect firewood. Like me here, I would have collected some of these pieces like this. Like this. You go and light fire with it. You see, it was very fun, but sometimes I used to feel like it was tiresome, because collecting firewood, as you are hungry, you know, you're starving, you have to collect firewood, carry, go, start up lighting the fire, you cook. But normally we wouldn't cook a heavy meal. Maybe tea, some black tea with some sweet potatoes. It was just a repeated meal. Tea with sweet potatoes, tea with cassava, that is black tea. Sometimes if you had a cow, maybe your mama would, our mamas, not yours, our mamas would milk the cow. For those who had cows, they milk the cows, and then they keep some milk, some they sell, so that you can get money to buy that pencil, that pen. You know, life was so good back then. You know, sometimes I wish I miss those days, but it was kind of struggling, you know. go and cook for yourself lunch, and then you go back. It is hectic because you're tired. You walk in the sun. Now, right now, those kids that have just passed me, they are from lunch, and I was filming. There were others that had passed on the other side. So they walk from school, come home. No matter the distance, you have to walk, go, and cook. Some, I think nowadays parents have upgraded. They prepare maybe meals for their kids, and then after that you just leave it there. So that was a by the way. Yeah, we keep walking as we check on this forest. I know Mama planted maize down there. I don't know if you should go and see, but in the main theme of today's video is to end phase 2 of construction of the house of Chef Matiko and Laura. You know, we had begun phase 1 earlier this year. Yeah, it was earlier this year, and with that, before that, there was demolition of the old house that Chef Matiko and Laura started life in. You know, you always start from somewhere. That is how you know you are growing. You always start from somewhere. Earlier, before the new house that is being built was there was the old house, which was I think 2 rooms, only 2 rooms with 2 different doors. So one was Mabera 254's room, and the other one was Mati and Laura, that is Chef Matiko and Laura's room. So with time, you know, working hard, trusting in God, trusting the process, God always sees your hard work and blesses you with something else. So earlier this year, Chef Matiko, they demolished the old house and they started the new house. We started from the scratch. By saying that, I mean from foundation, raising the walls, and then they paused a bit that we closed phase 1. It was very, you know, tough, but with God, everything always goes smooth. So just want to congratulate Chef Matiko. You know, he's doing a very amazing job. It is not easy, by the way. You know, he did a very fantastic job by starting to build for his mama Chef. So he built a very beautiful house and made sure he furnished everything inside the house. Is very new, brand new, now that it has been opened, like officially, and it is being used. There's water, there's electricity, you know, there's everything that should be inside a house. That is a very big step. So that is another congratulations to Chef Matiko. And now his house, he's starting with it, and we have ended phase 1. We had ended phase 1. We began phase 2, which was I think, was it August? No, July. Yeah, that is when we demolished some parts of the house are demolished to redesign. We were not demolishing the house entirely, but just redesigning some parts. You know, you might sit down and think, oh, this house, I want to do it differently. I want to put this, I want to remove this. So it was built, but then he saw something nice and he said, I want to do something different. So he decided to rebuild some parts. They took down some walls, from the wall down to the foundation. So it was only some parts, and after that now they had to build back. They put down the basements. I have been showing you the process since day 1 of the second phase of the construction. They dug down, they put it's called basement, and then the columns, you know, tying them very tight, pouring the concrete to make now pillars. So the pillars of the house are already ready, and now this video for today is ending the phase 2, which will be resuming phase 3 now in another season. So we get there and see how it is, how they ended it, what they did and what they didn't do. But we won't know what they didn't do because we don't have the plan, we don't have the design. We only see and know what is going on there at the moment, you know. So let us get there and see Shikamo and see how it goes, you know. They did, actually the masons did their part. There are some parts that of the columns that were taken down and then built. After that they left some parts. So the parts that were left and rebuilt, then build back, those are the parts that they said if they would have demolished the parts, they would have altered the other parts of the house. So they had to finish up with building the columns of other parts of the house. So they finished with the two. Actually, there were two. I think if you have been following up closely to what they've been doing, you will understand what I'm talking about. Yeah, so far everything was done so good, and we will come back out here to show you if the materials were over, you know, when they'll be resuming phase 3. Also materials will be needed, so we will need materials. But after this, we are going to check on the house. After this, we'll go outside to check on the materials to see, you know, how they've been using, so that even if Chef Matiko is watching over here, you will know the update, you know how things are going. Yeah, so let's get inside the house and see how it is. Oh, it's so sunny. Alright, so we are here, and this is what we are talking about. First, to begin with these bricks. Remember when they were brought in, they weren't so many because of the space, you know, thinking of bringing a lot of bricks inside here, and it will be so squeezy. Remember, they were mixing some, it's called the concrete over here. They used to mix it, and they used the entire of this place. So if they brought a lot of bricks, and on the other end uncle was planting grass, it would have been congested. So they brought little that was used, and this is what we have that is remaining on this side, you know. So coming to the house, we'll be going inside, but first we're going to start with outside here. This is the moram that we made. They used to level the house with this moram. So this is some of it that remained over here. I don't know what they're going to use it for. Maybe even outside here they might decide to levelize. So remember phase 1, before phase 1 there was a house here. Right now I believe you can't even picture the house that was here. It was straight up to that end, and then Mama had put a makeshift kitchen on this other side, which she was using firewood, you know, outside. She used to prepare mandazi and porridge for her shop. So with time they built a makeshift another one at the shop there in the center of Nyabohanse, where Mama would prepare porridge, mandazi, you know, and for sale. So after they demolished, that is when we began with phase 1. Phase 1 was from the scratch, as I had told you before. We began with the trenches. Actually, on this other side there was a very big guava tree. It was cut down because it had roots, you know. It is not advisable to build a house where there's a tree or trees with deep roots. They opt to crack the house. You know, trees grow, a house don't grow. Tree has life and it grows, and the more it grows, the more the roots enlarges and goes deeper, and they alter the house, they penetrate. You can imagine how God made that so powerful. We just see a tree growing, but under, you know what happens there, you don't even know. So the roots keep on growing, enlarging, penetrates deeper, and then it reaches a time where now they start to create cracks on the house. So that guava tree, or the guava fruit, I think it's a fruit here, it was cut down and the roots were removed so that the house would be built at peace. So during that phase 1 there was no any alteration of the house. It was just built from the trenches, foundation, raising the walls, and then they tied the lintel. The lintel was tied all around the house, you know. Sorry, it is sunny and I feel like I'm starting to get thirsty of water, but I don't know, it's just normal. So they tied the lintel, the entire house. They made sure to tie the lintel all around. So with that, they added some cores, which you can see. When I'm talking about the cores, it's the 4 lines of the bricks arranged. Maybe in that time you'll understand. Those are the causes. They added 4. So by that time, these pillars were not there. That was phase 1, you know. And yeah, in phase 1, not a lot of things were done. In phase 1, there was no leveling of the house. It was just trenches, foundation, and with the foundation, you see these stones were covered with some plastering, but not that soft plastering. Let me say, just putting cement. This was to prevent the rain from altering. You know, when they were building, if you had been watching by that time, they used sand. You see the sand that was removed from the old house. The old house had a lot of sand because it was built, and then normally or traditionally we always build and then add more sand to strengthen the house, because by that time Mama said in that video that she didn't have enough money to purchase big trees. You know, when you buy trees, they cut them down and then use the woods now to build the house. It is those woods and the mud. So the house contained very little woods and a lot of mud, meaning you had to put a lot of mud to make the walls strong. You know, if you leave it like that, maybe you've just built that first round and you leave it like that, it easily falls. Or during heavy rains or winds, the house normally falls or cracks. So they had to put a lot of sand. So when it was demolished, the sand was quite a lot, and we couldn't take it anywhere. And that sand is not advisable to use during leveling of the house, like putting it on the ground to create a floor for the house. It is really not advisable to, because firstly, it absorbs a lot of water from the ground, and you know, it makes the house cold. And secondly, it sinks as days goes by. It sinks because it is just fine sand. I'm talking about clay. So with moram, like this one here, it is kinda, you can see how tough it is, yet no one has stepped on it. It is very tough. I can't even dive, or not diving, but dip my hand in here. So with moram sand, it is very strong and it withholds. It doesn't allow the absorption, and with that they also have to put some wire mesh, which I believe you saw in our previous videos. There was a wire mesh, and then there's this black paper. With that, I don't know the use exactly, but maybe I'll consult with the masons when they come for the 3rd round now. So they had to put the sand. I'm talking about the sand that was removed from the old house of Mati and Laura. That is Chef Matiko and Laura. They used it to build the foundation. So inside here, there's stones, and the stones were piled up and put together using sand that was mixed with water. I've told you it couldn't be used to levelize the house. It is not advisable because of a lot of things. So the most advisable one, it is maram sand. I don't know, maybe some people will not understand about maram sand. I'm not sure if it's the term which we use universally. Maybe you'll kindly let me know down in comment section. When I'm talking about maram, I'm talking about this sand that is used to levelize house. Maybe in your country you don't call it moram, so let me know down in comment section what you call it, so that we get to understand each other clearly. So with that being said, the first round they put sand and then the foundation. So that was done. And the raising of the walls, there were no pillars because the design of the house was to be how do I call it, a bungalow, something like that, though I'm not so sure because I didn't see the plan by that time. I just saw the drawing, some sketchy things. I'm not a mason, I'm not an architect, so I don't understand those things, you know. I just saw a drawing and I didn't even understand it. So with that, I believe it was supposed to be a bungalow, because by that time engineer was talking about having it to be roofed. That is the first phase. And then as time went by, everything was completed with the first phase, that is foundation, and then the walls. With that, they closed that chapter. That was phase 1. Now phase 2, we resumed not just building but rebuilding. That is taking down some of the parts which you guys were complaining. Why are you rebuilding? Why are you taking down the house? We were not taking down the entire house. It was just redesigning the house, taking down some parts to build these pillars you are seeing over here. So I'll be going inside as we showcase the closing, the end product of this phase 2. Those are the pillars you can see. These are the parts that were taken down and then rebuilt back. Remember, it was taken down up to the foundation. So with me, with my little knowledge, I knew a house when built, you shouldn't touch the foundation again. If you do that, the house will fall. But with masons and the technique, and the skills they've had, they did what they do best. And you can see the pillars are strongly standing. Now this is what we call the pillar. When they were taking them down, there was like a huge space here, and they had to rebuild some parts that were altered extra, build back the foundation, and make sure the house is very strong the way it was before. When they were rebuilding it, it looked so weak. Oh, let me tell you, it looked so weak because on this other part it was very much affected because the door was here, yes, and they had to bring down that part and this part, and this remaining wall couldn't withstand. When the rain came, it took down the entire part of the wall that was remaining, and the lintel and the wall on top. So they had to redo the job again. That was a very bad time, but always when you're working, always expect the worst but hope for the best, but it didn't alter much, because if we talk about altering, and with that train like twice, very heavy one, and it altered that part. So everything else was built back. The columns, the corners, see, like this corner was built very much intact. And also about the column, when I'm talking about the columns, I'm talking about those metals you see up there. They were adjusted, and I don't know phase 3 how we are going to do this again, but those are the columns, and this is how it looks like from the inside. Oh God, it looks so beautiful. So where we left with our masons was here. They were building, adjusting the pillars, I think, and on this other side they made them tall. You see, they made the pillars tall, but halfway. It didn't go up. See, it is just halfway over there. I think they wanted to make sure it levelizes this the focus on top of the lintel, because if you look carefully, even in our previous videos, they had built the lintel and then there was some 2 to 3 courses, though I'm not so sure. There were some 2 to 3 courses on top of the lintel, but then they brought them down and then created another lintel with some columns or pillars halfway. So the pillars, if you look now, they are at the same level with the cores of these other walls. You see, they are at the same level. So this is I'll just call it living room, or even, okay, let's call it this big room, because it is the biggest room in the house. So this big room was altered, and they made some changes, but the window here was left. Remember, this window was just like this, and before that it was supposed to be a living area with an open kitchen. I think the open kitchen was supposed to be on this side, because this is where the window is, if I'm not wrong. And then this was to be a washroom. Right now it looks very big. I don't know why. You might think it was adjusted, but it is just the same. Or maybe it's because the ground was not done. It was just a ground, not a floor. Right now it's a floor because they've leveled it. And on this other side, we had a very empty space here. Is it an empty space? No. We had an entrance, but it was not supposed to be an entrance. It was supposed to be a big window, something like that, inside the washroom, you know. So maybe if you'd be inside here and taking shower, you'd be watching or having a very beautiful view through the space that was here. But when they were redesigning, rebuilding and building back, they built it and covered the space. Because on this other side also they had it was a corner, but they took it down, built a pillar and left some columns going up there, and then covered this space, leaving an, I think this opening is for a window now. Even the other one was a window, but it was very big. So this is the bathroom. So if all things, or if things goes well, I think it might be a guest's washroom. You know, if you have a big house, or if you don't like sharing things, especially if you love privacy, you just put your washroom close to you and leave the rest now for the people that will be inside the house. Like, assume it is a story building, and now the bedrooms, the sleeping areas are on the upper floor. So the floor on this side, it will be for the guests, now the public, in short, the people who are coming in, you know. So that is it on this side. The pillars, see that they were built, they are very strong. I know you can't even shake. By that time, when they had taken down the wall, you know, they took down the wall and it was like, from this part, I can tell the difference. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. You'd look at this and say, if I just push it like this, it would fall. Right now it is very strong. Right now it's a house now. Even from this other side, this is how it looks like. The pillars are built back. I even thought, what if they build it back? It's going to be combo. You know, combo is something that is going this way. It doesn't look straight. But you know what? Our masons here are very skilled, and they delivered. They gave actually Engineer Matiko and his team, they are people who, you know, you don't play around with, because they are the ones who have been working on the first project, second project, third, fourth, even the one that we showcased last. That project was it's still ongoing, and I'm not so sure if it's done yet. So with the second phase, I think this is where everything will be left at, even the timbers, because this lintel here, it is very delicate. I believe so. I know I'm not a mason, but I think it's very delicate and it needs, you know, to be left so it gets strong. It's the one that is holding this pillar, or is the pillar holding the lintel, or the lintel holding the pillar? I don't know, but I think these spacings are for maybe windows, for fresh air, for light. And then now phase 3 is when now we'll know. Right now they came, I think this phase 2, we majorly it was majorly based on rebuilding and bringing the design into life, the design that Chef Matiko wanted. So they have made it now. So the phase 2 will be now resuming of the construction. I don't think if in phase 3 there will be any altercation of the house. There won't be. It will just be the house building and now following up the design that they want. But as you can see, the columns have gone up after the pillars. We are expecting a story building. I saw some of you who know more or have knowledge of such houses saying in the comments, oh, there's a story building. We pray for that, you know, and we pray for more money, construction is not vegetable. It needs a lot of money, patience, and skills, you know, and good designs and plans so that you can achieve something good, something you want, something that is good for you and your family. Because this house, you know, we have baby Africa, our newborn, in the area, and we have Mara, so they need like a huge space. You know, I think also he reconsidered, oh, I have a very brand new baby, so maybe they'll need some space when they go to their grannies back in Africa to jump up and down, you know, to enjoy the house if they are not outside playing. So maybe that should be another reason of him having to alter the house and enlarge it. Right now, even this living room or this big room in the house, it looks so big, bigger than the way it was before after the altering and rebuilding back. So with that being said, this is phase 2. We are closing. We'll be resuming phase 3 soon, although we don't know when, but we will be resuming very, very soon back to the nature and environment. And before we continue here, let's get outside and see what they use. This is where they used to mix it's called the concrete. You know, they use the entire of this place. You can imagine how much ballast and cement and sand that went into the columns, the pillars. Actually, it really took a lot. So they use the entire of this place. I think now we just clean, or maybe we leave the small ballast so we collect them, because they'll be using them in the third round or the third phase. So let's get outside here. It is very sun, but the sun is coming, going, coming, going, coming, going. You see, it is so hot. Oh, so mambo poa. Yeah, and I usually tell you when the season we are in, it is a planting season. The rain is coming in little rains. Yeah, this is what we have. I think I had shown you in our previous video, because they didn't continue to use much. This is what they used and remaining. So with the moram was so much, like I think 2 trucks. And we had this ballast. This is machine made. I told you we had 2 types. We had this and that. That is man-made. This is machine made. It was up to this place very much. And we have the sand over there. So that is what we are remaining with. I don't know if maybe we'll come later with avocado man and Hamza. We use some spade to collect it back. You see it's scattering up to this side, so we collect it back. Maybe we put some stones around, because we are not sure if phase 3 will resume soon or sooner or later, but we need to collect these stones. We will have time and come and collect them and put them together so they don't scatter around, because over here people pass, and you know it's not good if they pass and you have stones scattering. So, and also for our own benefit, you know, they don't need to scatter. They were also paid. They were bought by money. Used some cash, some dollar to purchase this. So we don't want them to be wasted, because in phase 3 also we'll have them being used. And this time I noticed this man-made ballast was used very little of it, and we had this machine-made ballast used much of it. They used little of that and much of this machine-made ballast. I think this is because I asked one of the mason and they said this machine-made ballast, they are very tiny, they are very fine, and they stick together and makes the pillars stronger compared to the man-made. They are huge, you see, they are very large. So those ones are normally not advised or advisable to be used as or to be used when they are building pillars. You know, the fine ones are the ones that are are used, like pillars like this here, the ones that were used to make the gate. I think this is a wall on that other side, and then here is a pillar. See, it takes a lot. It takes a lot to have something like this, something unique. Oh, building is not a joke, you people. I know someday I'll be building in it. I don't know how it's gonna be, but I pray to God that things go fine. So here we are giving you just little updates of around here. We had flowers planted by Uncle, and this is how they are right now. Everything is cool because there's no a lot of sun that maybe we might say they have dried. No, this is the rose, although they have not produced or given us some rose yet. You know, it's always beautiful when you're walking around and then you see some red rose. You're like, oh, it attracts. It is really attracting. So Avocado Man in Hafsa has gone to school. You know, they're the one who normally cleans around, but it was cleaned. I think it's the leaves that have fallen over here. So on that same period of building, Uncle was planting grass, and this is how they are right now. They have what, I don't know why they are not growing that much. We have the flowers. Today we don't have rose. They've dried. That is, with time everything will go back to normal. And we had this grass on this other side. I think it needs to be weeded out to remove some weeds so that they continue to grow. This grass is a bad one. We need to uproot the weeds so that the grass can get some space to grow. I don't know how the grass from the outside, the little garden on the other side, it has blossomed. Those grass have really blossomed compared to these ones here. I don't know how that is happening. But these ones are coming out so well. See, I'm giving us the updates because we started it together. We were planting when they were being planted. We showed you, and right now with the progress and how they are going, we are just keeping you updated on everything, you know. And these flowers too. Oh, that man who came and trimmed, I don't know where we could find him. I haven't seen him around for a very long time. You know, right now, since they were trimmed and shaped, these flowers, it's been like 2 months and some weeks, if I'm not wrong. You know, that man trims the flowers and it looks like something you'll just take and shape. He's so talented. And he said he tied here when he came the first time. Do you remember the time he was tying this thing? This one. He tied it because he wanted the plant to give us a beautiful design that is growing from the down there and the branch going up. So he left it that way, and then he said they need to outgrow, like right now I think they are best to be trimmed. You know, there's rain, there's sun, so they're coming out so well, but all in all, they need to be trimmed and have a very beautiful shape. You know, I don't know if it's shape. Another one are these ones. I don't know, they are not growing fast, they're just growing at their own pace. But one thing about them, they always have this beautiful smell. It almost resembles the rosemary smell. So they are the rosemaries that we planted earlier, I think, no, later than these other ones. They didn't die. You see, another one is here. This is the rosemary. Just need to weed them out. Another one is right here. So they grew. They got adapted to the soil and to this environment. They were purchased together with the flowers that I was just showing you. So they grew, they got adapted to the soil. The only thing that is remaining here, it is to uproot these weeds so that our grass here becomes clear, and we continue now to raise. Is it raising the grass? We are raising them as little babies, you know. Need to uproot. No, this is not the right method to use. This grass is unwanted. We need to uproot them so we get space. Oh, this one here was covered with the soil. Uh-oh. I don't know if it will continue to grow. These weeds are overtaking now. Remember this flower? The soil is kind of covering it, which is not so good. So also this tree here needs to be trimmed. He comes and trims. He comes and trims this one also, and it looks like a ball. You know, I love this one. Is the one that I love the most around here in this house, because once it's trimmed, it always looks like a ball. These ones, he give them shapes, but this looks like a ball. We have these flowers. I told you this looks like a sisal plant. They are doing very well. We only had to transplant some of this snake plant and plant them close to the gate there. They are very beautiful. But one thing I loved about it is that you can see the baby. This is the baby from this big mama, big sisal plant. I don't see another one. And we have this red plant. We also have the plants in the pot that mama really wanted. There's this one that is mama's favorite plant. That is why she wanted it closer here. So it is doing so well. She loved the fact that it's shining. You see, the leaves were shining. We have this snake plant. It was also transferred to this side. Alright guys, so the theme of this video was about the closing or the closure of phase 2, or the ending of phase 2 of the construction of Matty and Laura, or Chef Matiko and Laura's house. So I'm mentioning Matty and Laura. Kindly go and check it out. It is Chef Matiko and Laura's channel. But right now we did change the niche to cooking. So I know a lot of people love cooking. Can you survive without food? No, you can't. Even half a day, you have to eat. So if you are looking for maybe some recipes, some traditional food that are being prepared, you want to try something different, something from ancient days, how it's prepared in an ancient way, kindly check out Matty and Laura. We have amazing videos there, cooking videos. And also, if you're not interested in that, you can scroll down. We have Matty and Laura's life there in diaspora, how they go about their life. You can check out on that. Also check me out. Don't forget, I'm African Ruby. Kindly check me out on my YouTube channel and subscribe. And also appreciate. We have Wayne Mabere, Chef Matiko's sister. Kindly check her out. She has amazing and beautiful videos there. Kindly go and check her out, subscribe, and lead her to success. We have Mabere 254, that is Chef's another small brother. Kindly check him out. He's at school at the moment, and soon he'll be out here with us, but he still has a lot of videos. Kindly go and check him out. Support by subscribing. We have Maria Mugini. Please check us all out and give us your support. I'm trying to look at this sasop tree and see if we can be lucky today. There's a sasop, but it's not yet matured. We'll come maybe after 2 days. It will be ready. So please hit a subscription button here on Chef Matiko. We are on our road to 100k subs, and without you guys we can't make it. So we know we have you, we know we can make it. So we are on our road to 100k. Please make it possible, you know, share the videos, like, and please stop being lazy. Watch the video. Why are you lazy? Don't you enjoy? Tell us in the comment section. Tell us in the comment section, please, and share the videos so that we get more subscription and hit that 100k. You know, it is not a joke hitting 100k, and we know we are gonna make it possible. So with you, please road us to success so that we hit that 100k. We've never hit 100k. Imagine here, Chef Matiko, it will be our first time. Oh, we can't wait. You know, with you we can just even wake up today and hit 100k. If your support is always there, we can just hit that 100k. So do that, and may God bless you depending with your timeline. I don't know, some people are going to sleep, some just woke up. May God bless you for being with us till this end. Be protected, be guided in Jesus' name. For those Muslim brothers, may Allah guide you and protect you. Bye bye till next time. See you.